All right, welcome. We are going to be talking about fueling your body. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see the presentation. Can you guys see it? Let me see. There we go. Can y'all see it? Yeah. Okay. So, hello and welcome. If you don't know me, my name is Caitlin Saunier, and I'm an integrative nutritionist, an Ayurveda specialist, an intuitive guide, and a yoga instructor. And I use all those things to help people manage their weight, to get quality sleep, and to increase their energy through the practices of yoga and Ayurveda. And if you know anything about yoga and Ayurveda, it's a way to go deeper. It's a way to get deeper into the surface of what is really going on. Through yoga and Ayurveda, you're able to find the root cause of any imbalances or diseases in the body. And so that's where I really like to go with this. And so um, this is me. Um, I remember when I was going through my health journey. Um, and I remember eating things because I knew I had to eat, like it was time to eat. I dieted and I ate the same things every day. I remember for breakfast I would eat bacon and eggs and a piece of toast every day. Maybe there was oatmeal, but every day I ate the same things every day. I did the Atkins diet. That's the one I'm really thinking of. Um, but I dieted and I ate the same things every day. Pizza, burgers, my diet was very regimented. Eating became a struggle because everything made me feel sick. I remember when everything made me feel sick. I felt just so confused. I didn't know what to eat. I didn't know how to eat. I didn't know what to pair together. Everything made me sick. I spent days in the hospital because I was malnourished. I was anxious and I was losing control of my functions. Um, I remember when I learned that food and lifestyle were the sources of my diseases. And then Ayurveda came into my life and transformed who I am and how I fuel myself today. So it started off with knowing that, God, like every time I eat this, like I get really sick. I don't like the way I feel. Like one time I remember eating, I think it was McDonald's chicken nuggets. And after I ate the McDonald's chicken nuggets, like I just dry heaved. Like I was just like, "Whoa," and like nothing would come out, but I felt so sick to my stomach. I had headaches. I felt just so malaise in my body. Like I couldn't even move. It was bizarre. And but I never linked that it could be McDonald's. It could be that my body doesn't know how to digest this or process this because it's fake food. I enjoy fake food every once in a while, but I mean, eating that all of the time, it wasn't good for my body. So I never would have thought that food would be such an issue. Like wow, like people I can actually get my hands on things that are going to kill me and like eat them and think that they're food. Like it just blew my mind and it changed everything. Um and so that's kind of where it started for me, was just like questioning um food, like questioning what I was eating and like really realizing like wow, the things that I'm eating and putting into my body caused me all of these autoimmune diseases, caused me all of these symptoms of dis-ease of in my mind and in my body. I was just blown away that it could be the food. And then um so the naturopath way that I ventured onto first to quickly heal my gut, it was all like food. This is what food is doing to your body. And then I started practicing yoga and Ayurveda, and I was able to really see that how my lifestyle and the way I was living life was also playing such a factor in my dis-ease. And so I wasn't able to properly fuel my body and source the nutrients that I needed because it was the traffic wave, so many traffic jams going on. Like um it didn't know what to do. It didn't know how to process. So I really had to take a whole different approach to my healing and really start from the way I was truly living my life, the way I lived my life, which leaned over into the way I fed myself, right? And so whenever I pose the question, like, what do you feed yourself? Think a little bit deeper than what you actually like feed yourself. Who are you around? What do you watch? What do you listen to? What do you fill your free time with? And is it really fueling you? Are you able to source anything from that? So, I remember when I was there. I remember when I didn't know what to eat. I felt terrible in my body. And so I'm on a mission to help people just reframe the way that they look at food and look at it as information, and know that the information that you're getting from this food will take you from this point to this point. The information that you get from this food will take you from this point to this point. Where do you want to go? And how do you want to feel getting there? So let's learn how to fuel your body from an Ayurvedic approach. That's green curry, by the way. Looks really yummy. To fuel your body is to inform your body. So fueling your body is so much more than what you eat. And that's why diets never last. Because the Western diets, the diets that we're used to following, focus only on what you're eating, macros, micros, and if you're working out, you need to do this specific workout. It doesn't really factor into how you're feeling and how you're sourcing that information. Fueling your body has everything to do with the information that you are taking in, if you can source the energy from it. So everything that you take in from your five senses, that's how we get our information as human beings, through our five senses, through our ears, through our eyes, through our nose, through our skin, through our taste. Ayurveda calls that rasa. It's a taste, it's an experience, and that's where we get our information from. And so if you are someone who is already a high-strung person and you go into a very stimulating environment, let's say a preschool classroom, like what is that going to do to your body? And that's going to cause you to reach out for different things to either help you balance or to feed the imbalance. So can you even source the energy and the information that you're getting from it? Can you process it? Can you digest it? Is it getting lodged in your body somewhere? So today you will learn 3 simple and effective ways to fuel your body so you can feel vibrant and live life to the fullest. Actually, you're gonna get a lot of different ways, but you can choose your favorite 3. There's 3 like broad topics, but so many ways under it. And that's what I love so much about, conscious living. Call it Ayurveda, call it what you want, but living aware and living in tune with where you are right now and what you need to do to get to where you want to go. It could be doing the exact same thing that you're doing right now, but just being aware of it. Okay. So there are 3 pillars to a well-fueled body. And it's common for us to focus solely on food because we know that we are aware that that is something that we need to sustain our life. But sleep and energy management are just as if not as more important. So let me move on to the next slide before I ramble on. Sleep. Let's move this over a little bit. Getting proper sleep is essential for physical and mental rejuvenation, for balancing the body systems and maintaining emotional health, which is all necessary for a well-fueled body. So, just think about it. If you do not get enough sleep at night, like how do you feel in the morning the next day? Can you sustain yourself through the day? Are you making good choices? Are you consciously aware of the information that you're taking in whenever you haven't gotten enough sleep? So these are some things that you can do to improve your sleep. to make sure that you are getting quality sleep. Just some really quick things. Turn off all of your electronics an hour before bed. This is something that I'm not very good at, because when you're in business for yourself, like when you want to, and you want to serve the people, right? You want to be there for them when they need, and I love that. But I also see how that could be part of my lifestyle where I'm stopping myself from getting good sleep. I feel like I get good sleep, but still, turn off all electronics an hour before bed. Turn off all of the overhead lights. So if you have the lights on from the ceiling, fluorescent lights, like lights that are coming overhead, turn them off and put on salt lamps, or any type of light lamp to soften the light and bring the energy down instead of up. So it's more of like the direction of your eyes. Whenever there's overhead lights, the energy of your eye wants to go up. Whenever you have lamps and softer lights, the energy of the eye goes down. Have a bedtime routine. Like I take a bath, I wash my face, I brush my teeth. Like have a bedtime routine. Wake up and go to sleep at the same time every day. Every day. Eventually, you'll see that you don't even need an alarm for this. The next one is crucial. Like I see the struggle in so many with this one, especially the mamas, and it's energy management. And it's, some people call it the work-life balance, like trying to balance that. But living a regulated lifestyle with self-control and moderation in all activities is essential to maintaining a well-fueled body. Ayurveda jumps straight to this and calls it sex. Like, what are you giving your energy to? Are you giving more of your energy to work and meeting your boss's needs versus your partner's needs or your kids' needs? Are you giving more energy to the negative thoughts that your mind tells you or the positive thoughts that your mind tells you? What are you doing with your life force? So some ways to really check in with that is to journal, to have a prayer practice, to meditate upon waking. So you can really get into your energy and where you are right then and there. Have a movement routine somewhere in your day. Moving your body. Ayurveda recommends having it between 6 and 10 in the morning. That's the best time to work out. And if you can't in the morning, then do it in the afternoon between 6 and 10 in the evening. But move your body. Move your body some way that day. So if there is energy that is stuck somewhere in the body, you can bring motion to it. I mean, do you feel better when you move your body? I'm pretty sure we've all experienced that. Like, God, I didn't want to do it, but I'm so glad I did it. It just feels good. Take periods of short breathers throughout the day. Something that I work with a lot on my clients is burnout. I'll work a lot on myself with burnout, because I really, I enjoy working on tasks, but I need them to be done. Because if I start a task and it's not done, then it gives me anxiety that it's not done and is all I think about. So I will work myself so hard to get that task done that I'm forgetting to eat. I'm forgetting to I'm forgetting to breathe, like there's shallow breathing. So I really have things set up in my day to where I am taking breathers to make sure that doesn't happen. So I have a timer that'll go off. I make sure to take a lunch break and honor those things. So take some breathers throughout the day. And make a point to invest your time on things that bring you joy and that fill you up. I mean, we live in a society and a culture where you're just working to live. So where are there things in your life that you can reevaluate and you can let go of so you can pay more attention to what really matters to you? And if you don't know what really matters to you, then how can you make space in your schedule to spend time with yourself to figure out what really matters to you? And the last one that I can go on and on and on with, the one that I love working with my clients on, the ones that I love to teach about is food. So properly nourishing your body is vital for maintaining health, for preventing disease, and for having a well-fueled body. And a few rules of thumb before we start talking about like the types of foods and things like that, which we won't get into too much detail because it's very unique to each individual. But I will give some pointers. But no matter what you eat, if you follow these guidelines, you're going to notice a shift in how you feel. So eat your meals at the same time every day. And you don't have to be such like a stickler on when you eat your meals and how many meals that you eat, but try to eat them around the same time every day. And what this does is this creates predictability for the body. So the body is able to digest, to take in information, to do what it does, while it's trusting that you're going to sustain it. So eat your meals at the same time daily. Have your biggest meal at lunch. It's important to have your biggest meal at lunch because that's the hottest part of the day. The sun is at the highest part of the sky. And that means, because we are nature and we are a reflection of nature, that means that our digestion is at its highest. So eat your biggest meal at lunch. This is the best time to eat raw. If you follow a traditional Ayurveda diet, Ayurveda suggests not eating anything raw. But at this time, this is when you can eat raw because you got the help of the sun to do it. After your meals, it's great to take short walks. So taking a walk after lunch, taking a walk after breakfast and after dinner. And it doesn't have to be very long walks. It could be just a couple laps around your house. It can be up and down your driveway a few times. It can be in your house, up and down the hallway. But just take a short walk to just move your body a little bit. This decreases the blood sugar and stimulates the digestion process. Eat seasonally and locally. Let your diets change. Let your diets change with the season. Let your diets change, especially if you're a woman. Let your diets change weekly. Like, it's okay. It's actually good to have variety in your diet and not be eating the same things all of the time. And eat to balance your dosha. If you don't know what dosha is and you've never heard of it, it is a mind-body type in Ayurveda. And it really gets down to specificities of what is best for that dosha based on qualities, based on your symptoms, right? So if you have these symptoms, you usually are related to this dosha, and this dosha does better with these foods. So there's some general rule of thumbs to follow with that, that I teach in some of my programs. Oh, went too far. So some more on food. So just some more information to take on food whenever it comes to the types of food that give the information that your body knows what to do with, right? So we talked about everything being information, with food being a big source of information. And food is such a beautiful thing because it is something from outside of your environment that enters inside of your body. And then your body goes through this magical transformational process and extracts what it needs, puts it where it thinks it needs to go, and then emits the waste. But that only happens when the food that you're eating is bioavailable. Your body knows what to do with it. If you're eating food that is not bioavailable, it's made of all of these chemicals and these lab made processes, your body doesn't know what to do with it. So it kind of just goes and stores it off in corners, or it makes it run out of your body immediately, either by vomiting or diarrhea. Um, so one thing to focus on right now is to cut back on processed sugars and carbs. And basically, I say if it's in a box and it comes from like the center of the grocery store, start cutting it out. And some people, question like soups and rices and canned stuff. And that's all fine, but just watch the quality of the ingredients that it's made with. Um, if you really love sugar and cutting out sugar would be really hard for you, then reach for natural sugars like honey, maple syrup, date syrup, coconut sugar. I'm kind of iffy on cane sugar sometimes, but use natural sugars. Boxed cakes, crackers, things of that, like cut back on those. Um, in general, cut back on snacking because you need like 3 hours between eating something for your digestion to fire up again. So cut back on snacking. Um, this is a huge one. Have something to eat before coffee. I know so many of us, I used to do this all the time, was to use coffee as my breakfast. Cause like, well, I'm putting milk in it. And I mean, I did bulletproof coffee for a while. So I'm like, well, it's got butter and it's got this collagen and it is pretty much a meal, um, which did help. But eat something before coffee. And the reason why this is super important is because coffee acts like a lighter fluid to a fire. So if you have any little tiny bit of inflammation, then you are just putting lighter fluid on that fire because inflammation is fire. And so you're creating more digestive issues, you're creating more joint pain, um, you're just creating more heat in the body. So whenever you eat, you have something to absorb all of the acidity and the bitterness that's coming in from the coffee. So have something to eat before coffee. It doesn't have to be very big. It could be half of a banana, half of an avocado, a small serving of oatmeal, but something before your coffee. Favor less cold foods and raw foods. So eat less cold and raw. Cold and raw can be depleting. It can be dehydrating. It can be harsh on the digestion. So eat less of it. I'm not saying it's bad for you and you don't want to do it, but if that is what is um, most of your meals are consumed with is raw stuff, then consider adding in some warm, nourishing cooked stuff. I work with a lot. I work with a lot of women um, who are really invested into their bodies and what they've been doing to them is opposite of what they're needing. And so they're throwing themselves into hormonal imbalances. Like this one client that I have, she's in her mid 30s and she hasn't had a normal cycle in 5 years. But she's a boss babe. Like she works real hard on her business. She's made something for herself. She's in the gym a lot and she drinks smoothies, eats salads because that's what she's done. That's the diet fad of cutting carbs, cutting out fats, cutting out all of those things that feed the cells in your body, you know? And so there's a lot of depletion that happens with that. Eat a variety of foods. You need the different flavors, the different tastes, the different textures for your body to feel fully satisfied. So enjoy in a variety of different types of foods. Whenever you're eating and you have your first burp, That does not mean that your body is making room for more food. I was really sad to learn that. But it's your body letting you know, I've had enough. And also, what I've come to learn is usually the people who burp while they're eating, it's because they're chewing too fast, they're eating too fast, they're talking too much, or they're not chewing enough. Usually your burps are supposed to come after, whenever you have moved away from the table and you have moved your body a little bit. That's usually when the healthy burps are created, I'd say. Um, so whenever you are eating, try to eat with your full attention on your meal. Less talking, less working while you're eating, right? Because you're taking in food information from your food, and that's really what you want to be communing with at the time instead of information from all other sources. I get it, I'm guilty. I am. I answer text messages while I eat, but I catch myself. I try at least a few minutes. Sit with your meal, taste your food, eat your food, be with it for a little while, and then start multitasking. Create your own balance. Drink warm or room temperature water while eating instead of ice cold water. Ice cold beverages and things are very constricting to the body. So it's going to just constrict your stomach and your digestive system. So eat less, drink warm room water during meals. Refrain from eating between meals, like snacking, like we talked about. Give yourself a break of not taking in information through food at that time. We're an overstimulated culture, y'all. Like we have information coming at us left and right. I mean, we have it at our fingertips, as well as just the busyness of the amount of humans that we have. There's a lot of information coming at us. So be gentle with your systems. Try not to eat after 7 p.m. I'm speaking to the fasting culture and the fasting diets where people will go for 10 hours in the middle of the day and not eat. Fasting in the middle of the day will ruin your hormones, ladies. It will ruin your hormones. So this is the way that Ayurveda recommends fasting is do not eat after 7 p.m. I know that's really hard for the way that we work our lives, but you can do it. I've worked my life around not eating after 7 p.m. And if it comes to a time where 7:30 and I haven't eaten, I'm steaming me some vegetables and that's all I'm eating. Something super light. So try not eating after 7 p.m. and then have your breakfast before 10 a.m. And that's a proper fast. That's the amount of hours that you need for fasting. So try that. I remember when this was one big one for me that I incorporated where I noticed a lot of changes. I used to wake up with no appetite for breakfast. I didn't want breakfast at all. I wasn't hungry. And I would wake up with headaches. And whenever I stopped eating after 7 p.m., my headaches went away. Let's see, I got some things going on in the chat. Christina, what's jerf?
Just eat real food. When you were talking about
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
boxes, if it comes in a box, so yeah,
Jerf.
just real food, and their natural packaging is possible.
Yeah, jerf, I never heard that. Just eat real food. Yeah, thank you. That's cool. Just eat real food. Teresa, did I answer your question about fruits?
I mean, you're saying like no raw, like raw, but I meant like blueberries, strawberries. I mean, they're raw. So is
Yeah,
that
yeah, for sure. Like eat raw, but just eat
okay?
less of it.
Like not only, yeah.
Hmm.
But like I get the whole smoothie thing, like, freezing it or making it like super cold. I get that
Yeah.
because of the digestive aspect.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I just,
Yeah.
just as like fresh, I guess I should say. I mean, they are raw, but fresh mostly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Eat raw fruits and raw vegetables, just eat less of it, not let it be every meal.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So like smoothie bowl for breakfast, a smoothie for lunch, and then a salad with chicken for dinner. That's my typical clients' meals. You know, yeah. All right. So if you do not know your dosha, this is a little, I moved it in the wrong direction. This is a little QR code that will take you to a dosha quiz that I've created. Your dosha is your specific mind body type where you are likely to experience most of your imbalances. So it's nice to know, but if you've worked with me and you've heard me, my take is to don't get married to your dosha. Your dosha is likely to change. You want to be more focused on your qualities or your symptoms whenever you're treating things. But anyway, this dosha definitely tells you like your personality type whenever it comes to things. So it's your mind body type. It's a general quiz, and it's a good way of understanding how your body is expressing itself. And if the information that you get or this probed some curiosity, you can always schedule an Ayurvedic assessment for yourself. Well, where I will help you identify your dosha. You get a wellness plan that's unique for your mind body type, which is your dosha, and it includes meal plans and recipes, custom food lists, self-care practices, and movement. And it really helps you learn the patterns and the root causes of your imbalances. Because after studying myself for so long and just watching, I'm an observer and I really love to people watch. And I get a lot of information from that. And just watching nature too, like I've learned a lot. So it's easy to see like the root causes of imbalances. So in an Ayurvedic assessment, I can help you pinpoint those and maybe make some lifestyle changes so you can better fuel your body. So I'm going to stop the share and let you guys raise your hand if you have any questions. Christina says, stopping the snacking has ignited my appetite and digestion. Yeah. Do you want to come on and share about that, Christina? How you feel that changed for you? Does anybody else have any questions or anything else that they need to unpack from the information?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Maybe just you could throw this out, just a few simple things. I struggle with trying to figure out what to eat for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Because like in my mind, it's either like you're saying like a smoothie or it's eggs, which I generally don't have time to like cook before I leave. Or I'm like grabbing a protein bar or just grabbing like a protein shake or something. But I know that's probably not the best thing. But can you just like give me one or two other options?
Yeah. So something that I love to go to for breakfast are avocados. Like
Okay.
just straight up avocado. I don't need it on toast. I don't need it. I just eat an avocado. Stewed apples. I love
Yeah.
stewed
Okay.
apples for breakfast. Boiled eggs. I usually keep boiled eggs on hand. Um, I'll make these. I know overnight oats is really huge, but I'm a big proponent of like eating really warm breakfast. So I'll make these baked oatmeal cups. So they look like muffins, but they're not muffins. It's like hard oatmeal, like spongy oatmeal, I guess you'd call it.
Okay.
Um,
Sure. I can get behind that.
yeah, I'm sure there's recipes. You just look baked oatmeal cups like on Pinterest. So I'll have
Okay.
those ready and I'll just kind of heat those up a little bit and eat those. Um, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good few suggestions. So yeah. Thank you.
I really love quinoa porridge. Like I'll eat quinoa. You can cook quinoa
Mm.
regularly, like you would in water, and add the cinnamon, allspice, and clove. and cook that, and then I eat that as my cereal. Like I'll take warm quinoa and put it in my bowl like my cereal and then pour milk on top.
Mm,
And I
okay.
make my own cashew coconut milk, and I'll pour that on top. Um, that's really good too.
Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Christina?
Yes, about earlier about the snacking, I pushed the wrong button and I got all disconnected, but I did want to say it's made such a huge difference. I was snacking thinking it felt like when I was snacking, like I could never get enough food, like my appetite would never be satiated, but yet I felt confused about why I was not really hungry for meals sometimes. And it's kind of funny, like looking back on it now that I just don't snack. I'm hungry for meals more regularly, and my nervous system, everything feels more in rhythm. Like it's not wondering just like, when is this chick gonna throw some chocolate chips and some cashews into her face? Like, and a lot of things that you were talking about really resonated. Like, for instance, I want to talk about salad. I used to really beat myself up because I mostly leaned on raw food. Sometimes in the morning, like a smoothie. If I didn't have like a smoothie, I would fast. And then I would have like a salad ready to eat at lunch, thinking I was doing something really good and fresh for my body. And my body was trying to tell me like it didn't want that. And I was really hard on myself mentally because I felt like, well, this is a healthy, good thing. I should be eating this. And I wouldn't force myself to eat it, but I just wondered why I was craving like cooked food, and I would almost get like really upset about it and like, what can I eat instead? And yeah, it's good to know that my body was just like shouting like, hey, I want some warm cooked nourishing food. And now that I'm eating oatmeal and things like that regularly, cooking my fruit, it is making a lot of differences throughout my body and mind. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
I
could,
never thought so much about what it's not, it is what you're eating, but it's so much more about when and how. Like I didn't have that piece before. So
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Is there one thing that you can say that you noticed that shifted the most whenever you made that change? Like one
My
thing
s-
stands out about your behavior or something, or a symptom?
my sleep is deeper, and it's easier to fall asleep because I feel like my nervous system and my body trust me a little more. Things are more regular throughout the day as far as that as well. Um, Bowel movements and everything are more regular. Everything's much more happy, in tune. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's different. It's different. It's completely different than it was before, which at first was like scary because I was like, oh no, my cycle is off. But I had thrown it off by fasting, for example, through breakfast and all those things that I was doing, thinking that I was doing good things for myself because of information that I was taking in from outside of me and not trusting my inner self that was telling me, hey, I don't want this freaking salad. Please cook me some lunch. And I'm like getting chills right now. Just I'm so grateful for finally listening and for some support with like tuning in and listening because I was being rather hard on myself about like not eating the salad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't understand any of what was really going on
Hmm.
under the surface.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up and speaking into that because that's a huge thing. Like as you were talking, the like I kept hearing the question is like, but salads are healthy. You know, eating are healthy, and it's like, but can your body access the information that it needs, and what is that information doing to your body? And that's why like learning your dosha and really learning how to eat so specifically for your body is like game changer because like someone like you, Christina, I've worked with you so I know so well, like someone who needs the groundedness and the nourishment of warm foods to calm your mind.
Mhm. Yes.
You know, and energy is mind, which is why your sleep improved. You know, because your
Yes.
mind wasn't constantly searching for like, hey, give me what I really need, give me what I really need. Because you're like, no, this is what you
Yes.
need. Because society says women should eat salads,
Yeah.
and salads
And
are
that's
good.
it feels like when you say it that way, it almost feels like potentially that's where the snacking was coming in because my body was keeping on it wasn't fulfilled and it was like, hey, would you please just give me some cooked food?
Yeah,
Stop having the smoothies every day. I know it's quick and simple, but I'm not feeling
yeah, I can't access that
nourished.
information. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Different priorities. Because at the time it was like, how can I make sure I get something in my body today? And because I had a hard time eating because I was snacking and eating too late. And it seems so silly and simple to say it right now because, like, of course you won't be hungry if you ate until 10 p.m. Of course you won't be hungry till later in the day, but then you're all off of how things are set up to work. Um,
Mhm.
you're not able to rest when you're supposed to rest. And yeah,
Yeah.
so it makes total sense now, but I kind of am in disbelief that it took me my almost my entire life to learn to tune in to
Mhm.
my own self. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, the way society and the world is orchestrated, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Pull you away from your innate knowing, and you did exactly what you're supposed to do is like get on the journey to come back home. And usually that's the first thing that starts to question is like because we are nature. So we instinctively turn to nature to get information. Like that's why we talk about the weather all the time, y'all. We instinctively turn to nature to get our information. So whenever something happens to you in your life, like you are going to turn to nature to get your information, and you get your information from your food. So that's what we turn to first. um that's why whenever we don't like the way something is working in our body or the way our body looks, it's like we start seeing how we can restrict ourselves with diet.
Ooh.
So um
Huh.
yeah, just it's just such an interesting way to revamp the way we look at food, and like really building a relationship with our
Mm.
and with our food, and not just using food as a source of because I know I have to. And what is the most convenient thing that I can do for my schedule instead of what is the best thing that I can do for my body. And if you are in a place where you have to do what's best for your schedule, then just consider if that's the life you want to live. And if it is, go do it. It's perfectly fine. Right? But if it's not, then there's something else that you can do about it, you know? Um, yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing and bringing that up.
Yes, and I love what you said on the other call this week about how food is information we're taking into the body. To see it from that perspective is just so powerful.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we need to not be trying to read and do a bunch of other things while we're taking that in and just let ourselves be at rest and yeah,
Yes.
digest and process what we're putting in on
Mhm.
purpose with
Um,
intention.
yeah. 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 Like if there's nothing that you take away from this call, let it be that this one thing. Just spend time with your meals.
Mm.
Just spend time with your food. I mean, go to the grocery store and pick your ingredients. Sometimes, but when you do on Sundays or whatever day that is, let it be a ritual. And then all the other days, do grocery pickup. I get it. I get it. It's busy. But find a way to spend time with your food. you know Cook your meals, as much of them as you can. It's okay if you don't cook all of them, but cook them as much as you can. Taste it, smell it, feel it, touch it. eat with your hands. Like anything that you can eat with your hands, eat with your hands. Pick up that chicken breast and just take a bite of it. You don't have to cut it with a fork and a knife. Who said you had to do that? Yeah, touch your food. Let's see. Darcy says she makes overnight oats and then heats them until warm the next morning. Yeah, you can do that too. Overnight oats and then heat them up. All right. Is there any more questions?
I was going to say I have like thousands of more questions, but for the purpose of this call, I guess we're okay. I'll see you on the next call. Yeah.
Great, great. I hope I'll
No,
see you
it's good.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you
Yes,
Thursday.
I'll be on this Thursday. I'm almost all caught up. I'll be caught up by Thursday for sure.
Great, great.
Yeah.
On Thursdays, I've been holding this 10-week intensive. So I'm teaching a group of people all about Ayurveda and how to apply it to their life, and it's been a lot of fun. I'll probably do it again in August, but I'm feeling like I want to do one more tailored towards food and our relationship with food, and like it really being about food. Yeah, so if you're interested in that, make sure you follow along because that'll be coming out soon. But yeah, so I'm going to share the recording so you guys can go back and access the slides if you need to write down any information, and if you need the QR codes again. But yeah, reach out if you guys need anything. I'm here for you. Bye.